Hi everyone, it's KIREI here for Arden Creative Studio, and I have a brand new layout using the fabulous Laurel Grove collection that was designed by Katie Pertiet. Now, I am working on a autumnal layout, so I've pulled out the more sort of reddy orange colours, the yellows, the browns from the collection. So that's sort of where I focus. So I've got this really beautiful floral background piece from the 12 by 12 paper pad, and I am just trimming the edges because I am going to add a white border to it. I felt it just needed something when I was sort of playing around before I was sort of working out what I was going to do. So we've trimmed it down just slightly. So it's just a narrow white border I'm going to have. And I'm, of course, distressing the edges to give me that nice texture. Now, my white cardstock is from the new premium cardstock range, and this is in the natural white. And there are two whites, actually. There's the natural white, and then there is a bright white. And they come in packs of 20 sheets, and they're 300 GSM. So they're a really nice quality cardstock. There are loads of other colours as well. And it's textured on one side, a sort of linen texture, and then it's smooth on the other. Okay, so I have four small photos, and this was me and my friends. We were, well, there was actually 10 of us away for a week. It's our annual getaway, and we go away for a week scrapbooking in the Herefordshire countryside. We stay in this fabulous barn, and it is really, really lovely. So we always go out for some sort of countryside walk. And, typically we take lots of photos, and we couldn't help but pose in front of this beautiful sort of red flowering bush, effectively. So, yeah, so I thought it was perfect just to get this documented. So, I'm going to create two clusters, as you can see, and I've pulled out pieces from the two ephemera packs. So we've got the regular ephemera pack, and then we've got the Page Makers ephemera pack. And I'm just pulling out, I've got the large floral cluster, I've got the words, I've got the little tickets, I've got the banners, there's some butterflies. I've also got a few of the laser cuts as well, some of the butterflies, and the brown leafy branch is from the laser cuts. Um, then I'm going to back my photos. So I'm just playing around then with which colour to go with. Do I go with the yellow or the brown? But I felt the brown was a bit more, it just worked a little bit better for me. So I'm going with this brown. This one's from the 6x8 paper pad. It's just a patterned brown paper. And so I'm going to create the two strips here. And I am just mounting them straight onto the brown paper, and then I will distress the edges, as you've already seen. That was a bit of a a bit of faffing getting around to that, wasn't it? It's pretty obvious I was mounting them straight on. Anyway, okay, so I've got those two. Right, I can start to work now on getting things stuck down. So I've got this fabulous large floral cluster that I'm just going to stick in there behind my photos, and then my photos I'm just going to raise up on foam strips, and then I can start to get everything else sort of tucked in and around my photos. And of course I bring in my trusty T-square ruler so that I can make sure that my photos are completely straight. And then I'm going to just tuck in a few bits and pieces around the photos. So I've got these, this one here says, "This fills my heart." And then I've just got, this is just like a journaling sort of ticket, really, but I'm just sort of cutting it down and just tucking it under the edge just to create a bit of a decorative element. And then I've got my title is the Together word. And this one is from the regular ephemera pack. And there's loads of words actually in there. So plenty for you to add to your layout, or in your journal, or whatever it is that you're working with. Got these two circles here with lovely and special, and I just decided I was going to distress the edges of these as well. I mean, I don't usually distress loads of other elements other than around my photos or my larger background paper, but I just felt like I wanted to add a little bit more texture there. So I've got one stuck down more flat, and the other one I've just raised on foam pads, again making sure it's completely straight. So together I can get stuck down now that I've got those circles placed. And then I've got a few more, the little phrase strips there, and I'm going to use, I've got Out and About and Nothing Better. Oh, and I'm just adding the butterfly. That's one of the butterflies from the laser cuts pack. And in the laser cuts pack. I mean, the detail is fabulous. I mean, it's so intricate. You've got to be quite careful when you're, taking them out, but it's beautiful. So yeah. Okay, mounting the out and about on foam pads, and then the nothing better. I'm just sort of curved up the ends, but otherwise it's sticking flat in the center. And then that's that sort of top cluster pretty much done. There are a few additions, but that's pretty much done. Okay, so I've got the bottom right cluster now put together, and then I'm bringing in this is the sticker book actually, which is really, I love it. There are 5 designs, and there's 2 of each design. One is in a washi sticker, so it's coloured, and there's one in clear, and I'm using one of the clear sheets here. Bit of faffing around getting it in because I'm trying to tuck it right under. I trimmed a little bit off the edge, but I decided to go with the black outline clear elements because a lot of the background has got this sort of sketched black outline. I wanted to just continue that and bring in a little bit more of it around my photo clusters, and I'm going to add a couple more leafy branches to that top cluster as well. So yeah, that's the sticker book is actually really lovely. All sorts of different things in there, from leaves and birds and lacy elements, and then journaling, of course. I always add journaling to my layout. I like to make sure I put something down to remind me of where we were, what we were doing, and of course the date, so that I know when I put them into my albums eventually I get them in the right date order. What's next? Okay, I'm going to add some paint splatters. I just decided I was going to add some white paint splatters just over the clusters. And then the other thing I do, which I do after I finished, but I just decided, I was contemplating the sort of the border of my layout, and I really distress it, and I tear a few sort of pieces in, and I do add a little bit of zigzag stitching on each side of the layout, which you will see when the close-ups come in just a moment. And then finally I'm going to finish off with some of the coordinating enamel dots. So I'm just adding a little grouping of 3 enamel dots to each of the clusters in the sort of reddy orange color and the brown as well. And then, as I say, that's pretty much done, other than that little bit stitching and extra pairing and distressing that I do around the red patterned border background. Bit of fiddling around, deciding where they're going to go. But here we go. Here's the final layout, and then you will see some of the close-ups where you'll see that stitch detail there that I added. But yeah, love all those fabulous embellishments, and of course those clear stickers that I added into the background there. I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.